Hey folks, it's Mike with Sailfish Solar. So I just wanted to give you an update. The Senate did release their version of the big beautiful bill. Unfortunately, as we expected, the cuts to the solar tax credit, are still in this bill as well. The government is very much in the business of picking winners and picking losers. They're saying this industry gets to survive and get taxpayer subsidies. This industry does not get to have any tax credits. And I've said for a long, long time, the solar industry doesn't need a nickel of taxpayer incentives to survive. But I've also said that it's not really right that there's this massively, unlevel playing field where some industries get, billions and billions and trillions of dollars of taxpayer subsidies, and some industries are left, to fend completely on their own. On top of that, then we have, restrictive barriers to entry in terms of solar actually being able to get onto the grid and solar being developed. We could make, an hour-long video of all the barriers to entry there. So it's okay. Solar is going to be okay. We do have the tax credit through 2028. And after that, the tax credit is done. And of course, now with this big, beautiful bill, the tax subsidies for nuclear, for geothermal, for hydropower, the subsidies are even higher than they were previously. So again, the government very much in the business of picking winners and losers. Don't let anyone tell you that this is something to do with saving money to the taxpayers, because that's just not the case. This is the most expensive bill we've ever seen in the history of this country, right? At the end of the day, solar doesn't need these subsidies. We don't need tax incentives, but just don't let someone fool you into thinking that we're somehow saving money here. If we're saying, hey, we're doing it to own the libs, great, you did that. You're doing it to prove something to Joe Biden, great, you did that. But if you think that you're saving money for the taxpayers, don't play that game, because that's just not true. All right, so that's it. Solar tax credits do expire in 2028 for solar. We'll be okay without them. At the end of the day, solar is the one thing you're paying for anyway. You pay a monthly utility bill to the power companies. If you can divert that cash into a solar investment, it's something that's going to pay for itself in 7 years on equipment that's warranted for 25 years to produce power. So at the end of the day, solar power is going to be just fine without any tax credits whatsoever. But again, don't let anybody fool you into thinking this has anything to do with saving taxpayer money, because this bill is anything but that. All right, that's it. I'm assuming this bill will pass through the Senate in its current form. I highly doubt there's going to be some sort of last-minute savior for the solar industry. At the end of the day, the solar industry is incredibly weak in Washington, D.C. And those three folks that got more subsidies, geothermal and nuclear and hydropower, who are they owned by? Who are they administered by? Oh, right, the utility companies, the people that have massive influence in Washington, D.C. and Tallahassee. All right, that's it. Thanks for stopping by.